Aw, hey Pikmin! What's up? How you doing? You're looking adorable today.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Hello here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin 1. A fun fact about this recording session, this is the only one that I'm recording that's after the videos were uploaded. So yeah, everything that we've uploaded prior to this point was all recorded before the Let's Play was even announced. So yay, now the world knows that we're Let's Playing Pikmin 1. Yippee! It's kind of an amusing thing because it always feels like there's that one video for most of my Let's Plays that does really well for some weird-ass reason, and I don't understand why. So in this Let's Play specific case, it's the one that is like where we found the blue Pikmin. I don't know why, but that's the only one that like reached over like 200 views. And I don't even really pay attention to that kind of stuff, but it's just kind of amusing because it's like, I feel like I didn't put that much effort into that video, so why was that the one that got the attention? I don't know. It's just kind of an amusing thing that you notice after making videos for as long as I have. So, our primary objective, if I can press the correct button, we have 4 ship parts left to take care of within the distant spring, and I think we can get all of them. So, without further ado, the super amazing powers of the blue Pikmin, we're going to cause mass genocide. Captain Nalama is a fan of mass murder. So, first things first, we're going to get rid of the Bull Bearer. And then we're going to go over here. We got these jerks to deal with as well. Let's go destroy you. Let's get over here. Get over here. Get over here so we can swarm your butt. Swarm the butt and destroy the butt. That is the way of the butt. Okay, now we got some shear grubs. Shear wigs, whatever these things are supposed to be called. Alright, I believe there is one more of the snitch bugs we still have to deal with, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But as for right now, our primary objective right now is that we're going to go over here, and there's a snitch bug. Aren't you just a lovely fellow? Can you get stuck on the wall and never? Ah, crap! You're above the wall. You can fly.
Ah, they fly now.
Oh my god. Okay. As much as I like Rise of Skywalker, I gotta say that is the one part of the movie that I cannot defend for anything. Because it's like, first of all, it was a stormtrooper guy who said that. He should know that stormtroopers have been able to fly forever. They've had jetpacks. Why is it such a big surprise that the stormtroopers have jetpacks? Have they never seen a Mandalorian before? Have they never seen a jetpack before? Jango Fett had a jetpack in Attack of the Clones. Why was that such a big surprise? And it's like, okay, it's probably not that big of a deal, but it kind of is because it's supposed to take place in the furthest part of the series, like 30, 50, 60 plus years after they've thrown jetpacks in the prequel trilogy. It's just so silly. It's like most of the other problems that people have with Rise of Skywalker, I can somewhat defend it. Like, the thing with Palpatine is that my headcanon is that he's like a Force ghost in that movie, but also, like, they have those, like, Mandalorian stuff like that, or the Ahsoka series, they're kind of, like, explaining where the First Order came back from, and the Mandalorian is kind of hinting at where the technology to clone somebody who's Force-sensitive came from as well. But things like that, where it's like, oh, they fly now. And they've been able to fly forever, you idiots! Enough about that, because this isn't the Pikmin Let's Play. This is the Pikmin Let's Play. I don't even know what I'm playing nowadays. Yeah, I thought that was gonna fire the cannonball, but then it didn't, and then it didn't, and I am happy. Yes, I'm happy. Clap along if you like to kill things with Pikmin. Cause I'm happy. Clap along if you want a cup of eggnog. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you can't think of any other lyrics. Clap along if you run out of breath when you're singing. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I had that going longer than it should have. I've discovered the bowsprit. With this piece installed, my ship should regain some of its sleek shape. Captain Alama is a fan of the fact that Gator has stopped singing. So we're going to leave that alone for a little bit because there's a couple other things over here that I'd like to take care of. And we're going to be doing a super amazing, awesome multitasking adventure. The funny thing about my Pikmin Let's Plays is that, like, I'm pretty good at multitasking in these games whenever I'm not Let's playing them because it's a lot easier for me to concentrate on, like, actually, you know, playing the game when I'm not talking. So I kind of got into a bit of a habit where, like, I'll kind of, like, ease back on whatever multitasking stuff I'll be doing, but also just so it's simpler for viewers to follow along with what exactly I'm doing. For this video, though, I'm going to kind of, like, say screw that and just kind of play however I feel like playing. Namely the fact that we got these jerks over here to deal with as well. So we got 2 ship parts in this direction. If you're familiar with Pikmin 2, this is the area where the submerged castle is, which means this place is going to be hell. Yay! We're going to throw those buddies up there, and we're going to have some more buddies over here. Now, we probably could have had the remainder of our squad carry the ship parts from the back, but my mindset at the time is that the, like those, I don't remember what those guys are called. The snail guys are in the water, so I'm going to call them Gary. The 3 Garys that are in the water, I wasn't entirely sure how many Pikmin it would take to swarm and defeat them all. So that's kind of the reason why we kept our big... There are bomb rocks over here? There's bomb rocks over here. Why are there bomb rocks over here? Okay. Yeah. That is a thing. That is a thing. That is apparently a thing. Okay, so these guys, we're going to separate them over here, and now we have some new buddies over here. We will be friends. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. And it's for anywhere, anytime at all down here in the deep blue sea. I don't believe we're gonna need more of the O's than that, but we're gonna keep doing that anyway because I feel like it. It's my Let's Play, I can do whatever I want, darn it. And we got a whole bunch of more Pikmin to name. Yay! Now these technically are Pikmin that we already had in our squad, so they probably already did have names, but my mindset is that, you know, they're transitioning to yellow Pikmin, so they probably should have new names now. As long as we have 15 or 20, I think that's how many I need of that ship part, so we should be okay in theory. Come back over here, come back over here, come back over here. Yeah. I was getting nervous right there that the yellow Pikmin are gonna drown and not listen to the whistle or whatever. Number 2, Ionian Jet. The ads for this jet boast that with excellent mileage, it's easy on the family budget. This jet will keep your spouse smiling and prepare you to a happy home life. I've now recovered 26 out of 30 parts. If we can just find 3 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. So, something that's kind of amusing, that's a bit of a behind-the-scenes fact about this Let's Play. So, actually naming the Pikmin hasn't been that much of a problem for the Let's Play. It's whenever I do this stupid thing in previous videos where, like, I'll start naming the Pikmin on the spot, and it's like, okay, we'll talk about that one more in a second. I found my Cronus reactor. Using strange new technology, this machine is able to whoop the space-time continuum and turn it into energy. I'm constantly amazed at how many mysteries are locked inside the parts of my ship. Dot dot dot. Alright, so these guys, we're going to turn them back into blue Pikmin, but we have our squad over there. We can use those to grab the Cronus reactor. My mindset is that these Pikmin, when they turn back into blues, we're going to use these ones to carry the ship part that we destroyed the cannon beetle from, or whatever terminology you want to use for that. So yeah, we're going to do that. And going back to what I was saying a moment ago, the thing that I've found that I absolutely despise is whenever I'm editing the videos and I start my process of like editing the Pikmin names on screen, and I'll be like, oh, this Pikmin's gonna be Bob, Gary, Steve, Jerry, Larry, Tom, Tim, Bob, Bob. It's like, it gets really annoying because I'm already editing that part of the video, and I've already had this list of names on screen, like in mind for this, and then in the commentary I'm like, oh, actually, I'm gonna name these guys instead. It's like, no! It already took like 15 minutes or so to get the names written down and stuff like that, and okay then. So yeah, that's probably like been the biggest challenge with editing this Let's Play, and such a minor thing that it honestly probably didn't even need to happen. Like, naming the Pikmin is such a silly tradition that we've had throughout these Let's Plays, and it always bothered me that when we did Pikmin 3 that we never named those Pikmin. So that's kind of the big reason why we're keeping up the bit with Pikmin 2 and now with Pikmin 1, and we'll probably keep it up with Pikmin 4 someday. Kronos Reactor. This reactor changes permutations in the space-time continuum into pure energy. Basically, it's like a big rubber band. I've never covered 27 out of 30 parts. If we find just 2 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. There is one more ship left for us to find. And if I do remember, this one is easily the most difficult one that we will ever find. I don't think we'll ever be able to figure out where it could possibly be. We have 64 Pikmin in our squad, like Nintendo 64. That's a funny number. And it's the only funny number that starts with 60. Glares into the screen. Okay, so I was hanging out with some friends recently, and, like, there is a bit of an age gap between us, and in both instances, whenever we went to the parks, there was a point in time where they would make like 6-7 jokes and things like that. Which, okay, it shouldn't bother me that much because I make 64 jokes all the time, so like it's really not that big of a deal. But the thing is, there's one specific instance where like they made a 6-7 joke, and then everybody in the line for Rock and Roller Coaster started making 6-7 jokes, and it's like, this is my hell. At last, my pilot's seat. Once I get this installed, my cockpit will finally be back in order. Soon, my ship will be starting to look more and more like the Dolphin of old. Ah, the memories. Captain Nanama is feeling very nostalgic today. Alright, get those taken care of, so... yeah, this wasn't too bad of a ship part to collect. I just felt like being an exaggerating little twerp. It's gonna be pretty exciting because after this Let's Play, assuming nothing goes wrong with tomorrow's day, this will be the fastest I've ever beaten a Pikmin game. Usually, whenever I play Pikmin, like day 15 is usually the day that I end the game on. Then there was one time where I got to day 14, back when the Switch version first came out. But this might be the first time that I ever finish it on day 13. It's gonna be pretty exciting. Bowsprit, the so-called face of the dolphin. In point of fact, I designed it. I've never covered 28 out of 30 parts. If I can find just one more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. What is the front of the boat? The bow. What is the back? Stern. And because that's SpongeBob Quip, that's the only thing that's the only way that I'm able to remember what the difference is between the front and the back of a boat. Boats, boats, boats! Boats! That seat looks terrible. It looks like a beanbag, but it looks like it'd be so uncomfortable. Pilot's seat. Picturing this in the cockpit, images of me lifting off into space begin to fill my taxa brain. It fills me with inspiration once again. I've never covered 29 out of 30 parts, increasing the dolphin's capabilities. My search can now cover a wider area. Oh my Jesus, Grandma, where did you come from? This is like a random puff hog, whatever you're supposed to be called. Yeah, I think you're a puff hog. This random jerk just showing up. Just go away. Go away. Go. Shoo. Shoo. Murder, kill, death, vengeance. Alright, we did it. Just for the funsies, we don't really have much more to do in the distant springs, so let's try to gather as many corpses as humanly possible. As we continue across this area, I guess a topic of discussion we could discuss is the fact that they did Summer Game Fest recently, and this might be the first year where I can look at it and say, oh, this is a replacement for E3. Because we actually had some pretty good game announcements this year. Like, normally I don't care too much about, like, the Summer Game Fest announcements and things like that, because it doesn't really feel all that special when it's all, like, digital and stuff like that. But, like, I think it was, like, an actual convention this year that, you know, you could actually go to in person, which I think is, like, a big thing that makes Summer Game Fest feel like an actual E3 replacement. And we actually had some pretty good announcements this year. We got Legacy of Atlantis confirmed for Switch. Like a new Spyro game is going to be super, super awesome. Persona 6 was teased, which is really cool. Persona 4 Reload. Is it Reload or Revive? One of those two. We got like the Persona 4 remake coming out. So, yeah, it's a pretty good time to be into video game nerds and stuff like that. Okay, I don't think you guys are going to make it back to the Onion, so I'm not going to particularly care that much about that. The amusing thing is that the Nintendo Direct, though, I feel like the Nintendo Directs these past couple years have been very disappointing because they kind of feel a bit more like PlayStation State of Plays because they're not really focusing too much on Nintendo games. There's like a big catalog of third-party games, which, you know, that's awesome. Like, third-party games historically struggled with having like a Wii U audience and things like that. Or like Nintendo audience since like the Wii U days was what I was trying to say. Where is the... There we go. So, yeah, like actually having meaningful third-party games on Nintendo systems is going to be pretty awesome. It's just that I wish that the Directs actually focused more on Nintendo stuff, because I feel like the third-party stuff could be announced at any time. But like the Nintendo Directs are meant to be like a big event for Nintendo fans specifically. And we're not really getting a whole lot of Nintendo announcements in the Directs themselves anymore, and that's kind of like the big thing that's making me sad about them. That being said, ending the Direct with the Kingdom Hearts 4 and the Ocarina of Time remake, that was epic. And Xenoblade is coming out, which I'm very excited for. "12 days since impact. At last, but a single part remains. Since I've recovered 29 of the missing parts, the Dolphin's power is near capacity. In the forest depths below, I see a region where the final part must lie. Clearly, this is my final trial. My life support fails in 18 days. Courage."
Pikmin population!
We only lost 2 in battle, that's not bad. Tomorrow, if all goes well, is going to be the finale. That's exciting. It's always bittersweet getting to the end of a game you love, but we're almost at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching this video for Pikmin, and next time, later to you. Oh yeah.